Hello, my dear students, and welcome back. I am so happy to see you all here. Today, we're going to jump into a really fantastic story called The Decision of the Panchayat. It's got a clever trick, but you know what? It has an even cleverer solution. So let's get right into it.
I know. Exam tension is in the air, right? But don't worry. For the next few minutes, just forget about it. Trust me, by the time we are done, you'll know this chapter inside and out. We're going to make it so simple and fun. Chalo, let's begin.
Okay, so our story starts with a farmer, a really honest and hard-working man. You know, his fields were doing so well that he decided, hey, let's expand a bit. So he bought a new piece of land. But there was a big problem. This new field was totally dry, and a thirsty field, well, that's just no good at all, is it? So what does our smart farmer do? His plan was simple and really logical. He sees a well right there next to his new thirsty field. So he goes to his neighbor, they talk, they strike a deal, and he buys the well. Perfect. It seemed like the best solution to his water problem. Or, well, that's what he thought. Aha! But this is where all the trouble begins. The neighbor, you see, he wasn't as simple and honest as our farmer. He was cunning. You know that word. It means he was clever, but in a very sneaky, dishonest kind of way. He sold the well, all right, but he had a little trick hidden up his sleeve. So, the very next day, our farmer goes to get some water, and the neighbor just stops him, and he says this absolutely ridiculous thing. Hey, I sold you the well, not the water inside it. The water is still mine. Can you believe that? It's like buying a bottle, but not the water inside? The poor farmer was completely stuck. Of course, the farmer was so confused and upset. I mean, what could he even do? So, he did the only sensible thing he could think of. He took this strange problem to the village panchayat to ask for justice. And this brings us to the most important part of our story, the panchayat. Now, what is a panchayat? Well, in a village, it's basically a council of wise, respected elders. You can think of them as the local village court. Their job is to listen to everyone's problems and find a solution that's fair to all. So, the stage is set. We have our honest farmer on one side, the tricky neighbor on the other, and in the middle, the wise panchayat. Let's see how they figure out this crazy mess. So everyone gathers under the huge banyan tree. It's a classic scene, right? And the neighbor, he just stands his ground. He's very adamant, stubbornly repeating his silly argument to everyone. He bought the well. Yes, I agree, but the water inside, that water is mine. Now, after listening very patiently to both of them, the chief of the panchayat stood up. The whole village became quiet. The chief starts by saying, after hearing both sides, we agree with the neighbor. You only sold the well. And just hearing this, a big, smug smile spreads across the neighbor's face. He's thinking, yes, I've won. But wait for it. The chief then delivered the brilliant twist. She continued, and since the water is yours, you have no right to keep it in his well. So you must remove all of your water right now, or you have to pay the farmer rent for storing it. Poof! Just like that, the smile just vanished from the neighbor's face. He was trapped by his own clever logic. What an absolutely brilliant aha moment. See? The panchayat didn't get angry or argue. They just used the neighbor's own twisted logic right back at him. The villagers were so amazed at how wise the decision was. Justice was served, not with force, but with some really clever thinking. So, what happened to our cunning neighbor? Well, first, he learned a very important lesson, that his little tricks were no match for real wisdom. Second, he had to apologize in front of everyone to the farmer he tried to cheat. And finally, he was also fined for his dishonesty. His whole cunning plan, a complete failure. So, after all this drama, what's the big takeaway? What's the lesson here? You know, every good story has a moral, a lesson that we can use in our own lives, and of course, a lesson that can help us in our exams. The lesson is so simple, but so powerful. Trying to cheat or trick people might seem smart for a little while, but it never, ever works out in the end. Ultimately, it's honesty and true wisdom, just like what the panchayat showed, that always win. Please remember that. All right, now that we've enjoyed the story and understood its moral, let's quickly do a quick revision. Let's look at a couple of key questions that pop up in exams all the time. This will make sure everything we learned is locked in tight. Ready? Let's go. First question, super simple.
Why did the farmer buy the well? Think back to the very beginning of the story. What was his simple, practical reason?
Exactly. He bought it because he needed a source of water for his brand new third field. It was a very straightforward solution for a very real problem. Simple as that. See? Easy marks.
Okay, next question. And this one is the most important one, so listen carefully. What was the Panchayat's final judgment? What was that super clever logic they used to solve the problem?
You got it. The Panchayat's brilliant judgment was this. If you own the water, then you must take it out of the farmer's well right now, or you have to pay rent. This trapped the neighbor in his own lie. It was perfect justice.
Let's just quickly look at a few new words. Cunning, that was our tricky neighbor. Adamant, that means being really stubborn, refusing to change your mind, just like he was. Summon means to officially call someone, like how the Panchayat summoned both of them. And judgment is just that final wise decision. Knowing these words will really help you write better answers.
And before we go, I want to leave you with one little thought. The Panchayat didn't solve the problem by fighting or shouting, did they? They used clever, calm, and fair thinking. So just think about it. How can you use that same kind of wise thinking to solve a small problem or disagreement in your own life? It's a very powerful tool to have.
You all did such a fantastic job today, my dears. And that's everything you need to know about this chapter. Remember this story, revise well, and most importantly, please don't take too much stress. All the very best for your exams. I know you are going to do wonderfully. Bye-bye.